Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach and author, The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this video clip I thought was really interesting. This is a clip from the Ashley Dalton, I guess, dating show or what have you. She hosts a show that's akin to Kendra G's, but with I guess a little bit more quote unquote dating advice as well. But in any case, I thought that this clip was very interesting and very indicative of the things that we usually talk about. It was kind of it in a nutshell. So I'm going to let the entire video play, and then we're going to talk about it.
The dinner stage. Like, I don't want to go to dinner. I want to go to the mall because it's like, where we go?
Okay, well, if you want to go to the mall on the first day, I'm keeping it real. That's going to give off escort. That's going to give off prostitute. That's going to give that off immediately.
I'm 26 now, but when I was younger, around 2021, I was on Tinder. Because when I was younger, I had this goal to find a sugar daddy. Like, that's not an old, creepy sugar daddy, but just like an older gentleman that would help me out financially. I kind of evolved a little bit more. Like, I'm more like an entrepreneur. I'm actually working in private equity. I've been on my own for a while, but I feel like recently, my dad passed, it's 3 years now. It's been hitting me that like that was my person and I don't really have much of a support system. But it's like, I haven't had support this whole time. You know what I mean? But for some reason, it's just hitting differently. I think I'm ready for a relationship where a guy is actually helping me grow. Dating in general, when do you feel like it's too soon to request something? Because I kind of feel like in our day and age, I don't really have time for the 4 to 5 month period of, I want to get to know you first. And then, like,
what do you mean request? What do you mean request? Like ask for money?
Like not even ask for money, but like, I'm going to be honest, like I'm over the dinner stage. Like I don't want to go to dinner. I want to go to the mall because it's like, where we go?
Okay, well, if you want to go to the mall on the first day, I'm keeping it real. That's going to give off escort. That's going to give off prostitute. That's going to give that off immediately.
Yeah.
If I'm being very blunt with you, that's what that's going to get off. If you're on that type of time, sure.
It's just that guys, they be all on the first date. But that's why I kind of feel like, okay, well, since you rushing that, let's go ahead and rush this.
Let me say this for everybody watching. It's not materialistic. If you're meeting a stranger for the first time and the first thing you're asking out of your mouth is take me to Chanel, that means this is transactional, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you can't get the goods. I'm not saying that. But if you're doing that when you meet them off the bat, hello, hi, my name is, take me to here, that means it's transactional. But let's call a thing right now. Let's just call a thing a thing.
So what do you think is a good time period to wait? Like, not to necessarily ask, but where you think it's appropriate. It's not my intention. It's just that men be all on you on the first date.
What does all on you mean?
Like, okay. But men be trying to have sex on the first date. Like, they try to get you to come back to your house. They want kisses. They do a lot.
Well, that means we're staying on a date too long. And like someone said, you don't have boundaries.
Okay.
And we're drinking too much. We're having more than 2 drinks, more than 1 drink on the first date. And we're staying on the date too long. So that's giving him the impression that you're down.
Oh.
We're having more than 1 drink. If we're staying there too long, if we're getting too comfortable, then yes. He's going to think that, okay, she's down.
Like, I'm going to be honest.
And honestly speaking, taking into account who's talking, Ashley wasn't really wrong here. The thing that I'm getting, let me just say this. The thing that I get from Ashley's show is she's giving modern women dating advice. Like, this is not coming from a traditional woman standpoint. Okay, this is not coming from a lioness's point of view in the first place. So she's telling these girls, look, what you're engaging in, I'm not going to say whether I think is wrong or right. However, basically, it seemed like she give hyena game to break it down. Like, Ashley seems like she gives hyena game. Like, but in this particular instance, she's not really wrong here, because this young lady here is saying that when she was like younger, in her earlier 20s, because she's in her mid-20s, she had a sugar daddy. So in my opinion, the sugar baby, sugar daddy thing is a form of sex work. It's the escort girlfriend experience, sex work. You just have secluded yourself to one John, supposedly. And it's an arrangement. There is no real relationship where there's a connection, and it's not a marriage. It's a literal arrangement between a man who goes and gets a woman who's willing to sell herself to him with the expectation and that he's going to pay bills and he's going to like give her money when she asks for it and things of that nature. And in return, she has to be willing and able to have sex and have that availability, the companion piece, if he want her to go somewhere with him, things of that nature. So it literally is a transactional relation, a transactional arrangement. I also be thinking, once you get into sex work, that's kind of who you are. Even if you try to like not do it later, that's in you. That's in you. The fact that you could even go into that arena at all says a lot about you as a woman. But she's talking about, I'm over the dinner dates and I want to go to the mall. And Ashley was like basically right. Like, okay, if you want to go to the mall, if you want to show up on the first meetup, the first time, and you want him to start buying you stuff, that is an arrangement. That's prostitution. Like, and she was saying, call it what it is. It's prostitution. It's a transactional prostitution sex work arrangement that you're looking for. I'm tired of these chicks getting on here talking about they want a relationship when you start asking them questions and when they start telling you the things that they want sponsorship. They don't want marriages. They don't want real relationships, because she sat here at 26 years old and said she doesn't have time for 4 or 5 months to get to know a man before she have her hand out. Like, so you're not looking for any kind of actual relationship, because when you're hoeing, you don't need 4 or 5 months to figure out you get this coochie for that money. That's established first day, first few minutes. Hoes don't even let you talk to them too long before money got to get spent, because time is money. You understand? So it just speaks to this overall prostitute mentality, because that's what hookup culture is, and that's what quote unquote dating culture is now. It's a prostitute John, a pimp hoe John hoe situation. That's what it is. And talking about dudes be wanting to do too much on the first date, that's because both of y'all are going into it without any boundaries or intention. You're going into it with no intent. Nobody said anything about something that they actually want to go on. This is not a courting situation. This isn't a situation where y'all are like-minded in terms of wanting to be married. And so somebody hooked y'all up, or you found each other somehow, and y'all begin to have these conversations, and the intention is made pretty much on the outset what each of you are looking for. When you go into these things where you just kind of on dating apps, you just kind of the dude around the way, you just kind of the dude that hits you up and slid in your DMs and Instagram. When you're doing that, that's a situationship waiting to happen. That's what that is, because nobody's saying what you want. There's literally the expectation is to just kick it. And when you're just kicking it, that's the transaction. That's where it becomes, because if it's gonna be a transaction, dudes obviously are going to be like, well, you got to give me sex right off the bat. It's a transaction. So what we're not gonna do is conflate how men conduct themselves in the pursuit of a relationship with how they conduct themselves in the pursuit of kitty cat. That's a different pursuit. So you want him to lie to you about pursuing you for a relationship, while you, on the other hand, treat him as if he's the John pursuing you for coochie. Like, we're not going to play that game. We're not going to play that game. And these chicks, they know what they're doing. I don't really buy the stupid act, the naive act. because you're going into it with the clear expectation that this man gotta be giving you something. Because why is that even on the table? How long does it take before I start begging? Why is that in your mind? This is how you know this is not a woman ready for any kind of really real relationship or serious relationship or marriage. This is not a wife. This is a hoe that wants to be in a situation where the man is getting into a relationship and she's doing transactional hoe business with him. That's what she wants. She wants him to perceive her as this relationship thing, and she perceive him as a John with some, you know what I'm saying, some D and a couple of dollars. She want her rent paid right away. She want her light bill. And another thing before I end it off, this is how you know they be cap about the money that they make. Oh, I'm in private equity. You don't be trying to say what they do. But if you are making the type of money that you want people to assume that you make with these statements that you have about what kind of work you do, and you quote unquote an entrepreneur and all this other kind of foolishness, this words that they come out their mouth to say on the internet. If you actually had the funds that you want people to assume that you have, and you want to perpetrate like you got, then why is it even a question when you supposed to start begging a dude for money? See how they cap, and then see how they lie and then tell on themselves. Because if you got money scratching around in your pocket, you definitely not worried about asking no man that you don't even know about what kind of thing he can buy. You're not asking him that. You're not asking him that, because supposedly finances is not your problem. Lack of a man is, right? So if you quote unquote got all this money that they like to perpetrate like they got, and you so stable and you making it on your own, blah, 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 then money, finances is not your issue. What you need paid? What is it exactly that you need paid that's not paid? Them high student loan debts or them high credit card bills? Which one? Which one? That stupid car note you got? Which one? What needs to be paid that you obviously can't handle? Because I promise you, when you're a woman and you got money scratching around in your pocket for real, when you can ask a man what's the proper timeline to start begging a man for a couple of dollars is not even in your vocabulary. That's not even anything that we need to even discuss at all. I'm really free to get to know you because I'm not in a survivor mode situation where I'm looking for help rather than a relationship. I can actually focus on trying to figure out whether or not we're compatible in a relationship rather than trying to figure out how much money you can give me, because I don't need your money. I don't need to talk to you for 2 weeks and then now we got to go to the mall and you got to spend a bag and you don't have to spend a bag. I actually can take that coffee date. I actually can take that walk in the park date because I'm actually trying to get to know you as a man and whether or not we can be compatible. I want to see what your mindset is and whether or not our values can align and things of that nature. I can actually focus on who you are rather than what you have, and furthermore, what I think you can give me in terms of material things. Because you don't owe me that. We just started talking. You don't owe me. You don't owe no bills paid, just like she feel like she don't owe no coochie. Okay, so if you don't owe no man no coochie, which you don't, he don't owe you no bills. He don't. Y'all just started talking. Well, y'all ain't in no real relationship, so why do your bills got your name on them? Your bills ain't got his name on them. Them your bills. They was your bills before you started talking to him. They your bills during the talking stage, and they gonna be your bills after he smash and don't talk to you no more. They still gonna be your bills. So what is you saying? Why all of a sudden, when you talking to a dude, your bills all of a sudden become his problem? No. Y'all want the transaction. Y'all want these sponsorships, and then y'all get on the internet and cry about men don't want us for relationships. You don't even want the relationship. Hyenas do not want relationships. They want sponsorships. They want help is what they want. Because you can't make it on your own or you don't want to. Either way. and you caught up in the transaction, it's a shame too, because this is not a bad looking young lady. And I think I heard her mention that her father passed ago. Your dad, what kind of conversations was you having with your dad? Because did he know you was looking for a sugar daddy? Because usually women that look for sugar daddies actually have daddy issues as well. So, like, did you tell your daddy that you was doing that before he passed away? Like, what? Girl, do he know he raised the hyena? And don't let the natural face and natural hair fool you. You gotta listen to him talk. Because she has a lioness's aesthetic, but a hyena's mouthpiece. You gotta listen to the foolishness that come out of it. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.